Do you feel like you might want to quit your job? Maybe you're not sure if it's the right time or how to go about doing it. I'm going to walk you through how to make that decision. And if it is time to quit, I'm going to give you some tools to do it right. The first step, of course, is to figure out if quitting is right for you right now. If you've been feeling antsy in your current role, that may be a sign, but you need to dig deeper, asking yourself 3 pointed questions to understand exactly what's wrong. First, am I working for the right organization? Second, am I in the right role? And third, am I positioned for the future career I want? If the answer to any of these questions is no, it's a sign that you need to look for a new opportunity. By focusing on these 3 questions, you'll get a sense of whether that new opportunity should be with your current employer, which you may like, or if it's time to jump ship to a new organization. For example, if you feel like your boss is holding you back and you're not learning and growing, you might look for a different opportunity in another part of the company. On the other hand, if you like your position, but the whole company is toxic and people are rushing for the exits, you might want to look for a similar job in a different company. Before giving your notice, it's a good idea to do one last check to see if any of the problems can be fixed. At this point, you've got nothing to lose. Talk to your manager. For example, if the company has announced that everyone needs to come back to the office, but you want to continue working at home, ask if an exception can be made. Or if your salary is your problem, ask for that raise. The answer may be no, but it doesn't hurt to ask before you make the final decision to quit. If you've made a good faith effort and you realize these problems aren't going to be fixed, or your boss is the problem, it's time to give yourself permission to quit. The very first person you want to tell is your manager. You may be tempted to leak the news to close colleagues or confidants, but that can be dangerous. After all, you don't want your boss finding out the news before you have a chance to explain your reasoning. And your relationship with your boss is really important, even if you don't like them, even if you don't plan to ever see them again. Remember, you will need them as a reference in the future, so it's good to leave on good terms. So tell your manager and tell them right away. Don't put it off. As stressful as this conversation can be for everyone, especially you, most managers want as much advance notice as possible. And when you have the conversation, cut right to the chase. Don't beat around the bush. Tell them clearly, I've decided to move on to the next chapter of my career, and I'm committed to making this transition as smooth as possible. Now, you may be wondering, what reason do I give for why I'm quitting? And this is one of those rare occasions where it might be best not to be 100% truthful, especially if you hate working for that boss and that's why you're leaving. Instead, keep the reasons tightly focused on your needs and career goals. Frame it around what you want to do instead. A new role, a new industry, a new career, or just the need to shake things up for yourself. If your boss senses you're blaming them, you risk burning an important bridge. Remember that reference you're going to need from them? How long should you plan to stay after giving your notice? The quick answer, not too long and not too short. As you probably know, giving 2 weeks notice is customary, but you might consider offering to stay longer, especially if you're in a position that's senior and you can help train your successor. On the other hand, you don't want to give too much notice, say longer than 3 months. You'll start to be treated as an outsider, and you don't want to be remembered as the person who hung around for too long. So ideally, you want to allow enough time so that your manager and coworkers don't feel like you left them in the lurch, but not so much time that things start to get weird. After you've given your notice, you have 2 primary goals. 1, help with the smooth transition of your tasks and responsibilities, and 2, solidify any relationships with coworkers you hope to stay in touch with. Transferring your work to others may include helping to hire your replacement or handing off your projects to existing colleagues. You may propose some ideas about how to do this, but let your manager make the final decisions. You should also use some of your remaining time to connect with colleagues. Go out to lunch or coffee. Be explicit that you want to stay in touch, and be thankful for any opportunities they've given you. Consider giving personal notes to your manager, any mentors, and any close colleagues. No matter how you felt about the job or the people, you want to be remembered as thoughtful and professional. Okay, that's a lot. So here's a quick summary. If you're thinking of quitting, ask yourself what the real problem is. Is it your boss? Is it the position? Is it the team you're on or the company? Knowing that will help influence what you should do next. If you do decide to quit, make one last check to see if there's anything that can be fixed that will change your mind. If not, tell your manager right away and tell them clearly. And don't leave the impression that they're the reason you're leaving, even if they are. If you can, offer to stay to help with the transition, but don't overstay once you've given your notice. And nurture your relationships with your coworkers who you hope to stay in touch with. You're leaving the job, but you need to maintain your network of former colleagues, even your boss. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. All of these strategies are based on HBR articles, and we've provided links to them in the description below. If there are other big topics that you're struggling with, we'll try to tackle those topics in future videos. Thanks so much.